Everybody can be a leader out there. Everybody can put their fingerprints on the organization to make it better going forward.
Welcome, everyone, to the Driving Vision podcast brought to you by the Zeigler Auto Group. And here with me, Auto Group Director of Talent Development, Mike Van Ryn. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, like it if you do, and leave a comment. This week, we dig into the archive for an episode we first aired November 1st, 2022, featuring Zeigler Auto Group President and CEO Aaron Zeigler discussing the Auto Group's earning Glassdoor's recognition for top work-life balance. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. We're back next week with a new episode. Hey, everybody. Here with me today, President and CEO, Zeigler Auto Group, Aaron Zeigler. Aaron, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
So this is a special edition of the podcast. We're going to do a version internally and externally so everyone can kind of hear some news that we found out within the last week. So first off, Aaron Zeigler, congratulations on Glassdoor's announcement this past week that Zeigler ranks in the top 10 companies for best work-life balance. And in fact, not top 10, but 6. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. And really, congratulations to the entire team. You think about the hundreds of thousands or millions of companies in the United States. So to be ranked in the top 10 in any category out there versus millions of people is a great attribute to what our employees have accomplished.
In fact, Aaron, it's interesting. When you look at those top 10 companies, 7 tech companies. The top is Dropbox, 1 home loan company, and a real estate company. The Zeigler Auto Group is the only retail-facing company out there. What does that say to you? The demands of retail are so different from technology and some of these other companies that are more corporate.
Well, this is really an accolade for the entire company, and everybody that works here has done a terrific job. And the culture is what this thing is based on, Sam. You know, and culture is hard to describe. I look at it as, you get to work in the morning, you're excited to get to work. You're excited to work with the people that you work with. You're passionate about exceeding our customers' expectations, and everybody's really working together to help each other out. And the reality is we're a big family, and every person that's a part of the Zeigler organization is part of the Zeigler family. I think that is why we were able to finish, in the top 10 and out of millions of companies out there in Glassdoor.
Culture is an important piece of that. You talk about that often. As soon as you talk about culture, it becomes tough to actually identify what culture is. But you've done some things that are building blocks in creating that culture. Just to talk about a few, tell us a little bit about how some of these programs started and how they play into culture. So first off, Zeigler University. We just launched Zeigler University 2.0. It's been a part of our culture for well over a decade. Tell us a little bit about what that is and how that plays into our culture.
Well, what really gets me excited and gets me up in the morning and gives me energy is to see people that are in our company that move up and do things that they never thought they were going to be able to do, or take positions that they never thought they were going to be able to do. And that's how we've been able to grow the organization. And Zeigler University, I think, has been an instrumental part of that. But about a year ago, we said, you know what, we're going to revamp this and we're going to make it literally the best development program in the world. And we're going to give everybody in the company access to that. And you don't have to have a title, Sam, to be a leader. Everybody can be a leader out there. Everybody can put their fingerprints on the organization to make it better going forward. And that's what Zeigler University is going to be all about. And we're going to be launching it here in the next 30 days or so. We've added a lot of pieces to it already, a lot of classes, and it's going to be available to everybody in the organization. So anybody that wants to better themselves is going to be able to do that going forward.
One interesting element, and I think it contributes to culture, some of the basic classes are required, but the more advanced classes that show a desire to develop and increase leadership, you don't require. Why don't you require those? Why are you looking to see who participates?
Well, I don't think anybody likes to have anything required of them. You've got to want to do it. You've got to be passionate about it. And there's a lot of different tracks that you can take through the development program. And it never stops. I still go to the classes. I'm still watching the stuff online. I'm constantly learning from our employees and our coworkers. And that's exciting because then I'm growing as an individual. And I know you're doing the same thing, Sam. And we want to learn from each other. I don't have all the answers. I'll tell you that right now. You don't have all the answers.
No.
but collectively as a team, we always have all the answers. And that's what makes it so powerful. And I think we're really more powerful than a team. I think we're a family. And I think that's the most powerful thing that you can be as a organization, as a big family.
So when you mention no one person has all the answers, it reminds me of another component of our culture that has been important to developing that culture, and it's recognition. So there's three components to our recognition within the Zeigler Auto Group. Diamond drops, which are recognitions that an employee can do for another. There's pride awards, which are quarterly and legacy tributes. There's an interesting way that came about. Tell us a little bit about that.
This goes back, probably 10 or 12 years ago, Sam, and we did a culture survey, and we asked 88 questions in that culture survey, and the lowest rated question was, I've received meaningful recognition in the past 10 days. And it's a tough question because the first thing is, what is meaningful? And then 10 days is a really short time period. And we realize a lot of time we see somebody that's doing a terrific job, and we know it in our heads that they're doing it, but we don't say anything, or we don't have a form of recognizing them for what they're doing. So we weren't very good at recognition. And it was great because all of our employees let us know that in the culture survey. And we started looking at this and said, we need to do a better job at this. And as we were growing as a company, it gets harder to be able to do that. So we came up with the diamond drops, and anybody in the company can write somebody else a diamond drop when they see something that they're doing well. And as what we had found through the survey is what meaningful recognition was. The most powerful form of meaningful recognition was a handwritten note. And people that may be doing a great job, but not normally get recognized, all of a sudden are getting these diamond drops. And we've given out tens of thousands of diamond drops as a company. And it's really fun when you go around and you see that people have them up on their walls. It's a badge of honor out there, and their peers are recognizing them for doing a terrific job. And, I've gotten diamond drops myself, and I've given out a lot. You really feel good when you get a diamond drop. And I think that's a core piece of our culture. And that's something that we learned through the culture surveys. And as a matter of fact, we're going to, here in the next 60, 90 days, we're going to come out with another culture survey. And those are really important to me because I read all the feedback, and it gives everybody a say in how we're running the company. And we want to hear back from, what are we doing well? What are the good things that we're doing? And then what do we need to improve on, or what do we not see that we can do and do better as a organization?
So in some companies, they'll do surveys only to get kind of confirmation they're doing the right thing, not to learn things they're not doing. Any feedback on how you felt when you learned, hey, we're not recognizing like we should all those years ago, and then what it took to come up with that new process?
I always say, look, if we do a survey and there's nothing that we do with it, we might as well not even do it. It's a waste of time, and it's a waste of everybody's time. So the most important part of this survey is getting the information back and then taking action on it. Like a good example was back when the recession hit in 2008, most companies went away from 401k match. And then we started seeing more and more in surveys that people really wanted that 401k match. It was important to them. Yeah. So if it's important to them, it's important to the company. Yep. So we came back a long time ago with a 401k match, and now we do a profit sharing deal so that everybody gets involved in the success of the organization.
Aaron, it's interesting. One of the other interesting things that plays into our culture is the Zeigler Speaker Series. You have intentionally brought people from outside the automotive world to teach and educate the Zeigler employees. Talk to us a little bit about your philosophy behind having people from outside the organization.
Yeah, so the Speaker Series has been great. We have brought in people that have done really unique things in life, and we learn from them, and we have access to them, and we get to ask them questions about the things that they have done. I mean, we've had everything from, Jim Craig, who won a gold medal in the Olympics. We've had astronauts that have been to the space station. We get to ask them about UFOs, just things Tom you're curious Izzo, about in life. Yeah, Tom Izzo was here, Hall of Fame basketball coach. He's been to 8 Final Fours, about what makes them tick and what makes them successful. We've had a lot of sports people, both athletes and coaches in, because I think sports is one, it's fun. A lot of people like sports, including myself, but also business and sports are so closely aligned. Everybody has access to this. And if you can't go and see it live, we record these things now and we send them out so you can watch it after the fact as well. But it's just about meeting unique people and giving a unique perspective on business, and it makes us better as an organization. And it's a lot of fun to be able to do this. And if you ever see me in one of those speakers, I'm going nonstop on my phone. I'm not texting somebody. Yeah. I'm paying attention to the speaker because I take notes. On the Apple iPhone, there's a little icon that says notes. You click it, and I have notes from every speaker that's ever spoke to us. Wow. And I'll go back and look at those time and time again, because it's like I'm listening to that speaker again. They're talking to me. So when you go to those, they're very entertaining. We bring in people that do really cool stuff. We've got a couple more speakers lined up before the end of the year, but you also want to be able to retain that information, and taking notes and having it in your phone is a great way to do that.
One of my favorite speakers recently, Mel Tucker, Michigan State head football coach. No excuses, no explanations. And it's interesting when we have people from outside the organization, even outside of automotive, who come in and share their philosophy with us. We instantly can turn around and adapt that into our business, and it makes us all better. It's cool how that works.
Yeah, no question about it. I've gotten to know Mel very well, and he's become a good friend, and I've learned a lot from him. And I've watched him and the things that he does to elevate Michigan State's program. And his second full season there, he went 11-2. He was a Big Ten Coach of the Year. He won his bowl game. And it was little things that Mel did that you pick up on. Like, he puts flowers out front of his football building, so they have a really nice entrance. It's like their front porch coming in. It's those little details that make a difference. And that goes back to us. The sole reason our company exists is to give the customers an amazing experience. And that's something that no computer can replicate. And that's the competitive advantage that we have as a organization. And there's no magic bullet to making a customer happy. It's the little things. It's the way that our facilities look. It's the way that we dress and our appearance. It's the smile on the face. Yeah. Things are going to go wrong in business. It's how we fix those. When I have a customer issue, I actually get excited about that because I know I'm going to make that customer happy. Yeah. And I'm going to turn them around and be a biggest advocate for our organization.
It's an opportunity, right?
Yeah. Anytime you have an issue, it's an opportunity is the way you look at that. It's a great comment.
When you think about as a team engaging in a big goal, and our big goal is to create the ultimate automotive experience for the customer, but also for each other, right? And that's part of what makes coming to work every single day to work on this big goal so exciting. Another component of our culture is our GM leadership. So you've invited for a long time general managers to bring a department once a month, and they come in and these departments stand up in front of GMs and yourself, which has got to be intimidating for a parts manager, let's say, and they get to share a best practice. What does that do for you? What's your thought process behind inviting them in to share that best practice? And how has that benefited the organization and the individual?
Yeah, it can be intimidating for everybody. I remember when I first started going to these meetings, I was scared to death. I was scared to talk. But we've been doing these since before I was around, so it goes back 30 years. And you would think after 30 years of doing a meeting every single month, you couldn't come up with any new ideas. Right. And there's a whole slew of new ideas. Yeah. And the reason being is the world is changing. And as a company, we've got to continuously change to stay relevant in the market. Yeah. And this is a great way to do it. So if somebody comes up with an awesome idea, it's a way for us to be able to roll it out to the entire organization really fast. Yeah. And for us, as we get bigger as an organization, we've still got to stay nimble. Always going to be a family organization. It's always going to have a family feel to it. I don't want that corporate Fortune 500 feel to it. You lose your competitive advantage when you do that. Yeah. When you can move faster than your competition and stay more nimble and change on a dime, that's when you win.
That's a great point. A parts manager stands up in front of his fellow parts managers and general managers. He can inject an idea that is a true best practice, and it can become part of our culture faster than any other way, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is where I said, we don't have all the answers, but collectively as a team, we do. And this is a great way to be able to share information and learn from each other. One minute you're the teacher, and the next minute you're the student.
Yeah. So final question before we talk a little bit about the CEO role. Legacy tributes. How long have you had those? And what are some legacy tributes you've handed out that have meant the most? When we talk about recognition.
The legacy tributes are given out at the end of the year party to somebody that has had a big impact on the organization over a very long period of time and really helped to develop people along the way. And the first one that we ever gave out was to my dad, our founder. And that was probably the most meaningful because he's my dad. So I'm a little biased. Yeah. But the reality is the organization wouldn't exist if it wasn't for him. He came from absolutely nothing and he started the organization. And then I was fortunate enough to have it, passed to me to be able to run the organization. So that was a really big one. But I've seen a number of people win these awards. And with these awards, their friends and family and coworkers write what they mean to them. And a lot of times we don't say what we mean. Somebody else means to us.
Except at your funeral. And that's late, isn't it?
And I've seen people that are pretty tough break down and cry. And we gave one last summer to Jim Craig. It was the first time we've ever given to one outside the company. And he was over at my house and he goes up to a room and he doesn't come back for an hour. And he comes down and his eyes are all red. And he was upstairs reading this and he was crying about what people wrote about him because he never had anything like that.
A tough Bostonian, an Olympic gold medalist, right?
Hockey player.
Yeah, hockey player. What would you say to people that would say, hey, the automotive retail business, crazy tough hours, true. High expectations, true. Commitment to execute at a high level, true. How do you recognize that with best companies to work for, work-life balance? How do those two match?
I would probably disagree with the statement on the crazy hours because anything that you do to be successful, you're going to have to put an effort into it.
Yeah.
Okay? But you manage your time. So I always say hey, when you're at work, stay focused and work, and you can get everything done that you need. But we also want people to get away. We want them to take vacations. We want them to spend time with their family. I always say, look, I have 4 kids, and a lot of us have children. If you have children and they have a sporting event going on or a dance recital or whatever, we want you to go to that. So we'll give you time off. So, a lot of times I'll go to one of my kids' soccer games. I'll leave work for an hour or 2, and then I'll come back. So you can bounce in and out, and you can do both. And it's not that hard to balance and have a great family life and be very successful at work. You can absolutely do both. I do see companies where they think in order to be successful, you got to work 24 hours a day. You got to give up the family life. That's absolutely the wrong way to do it, because you forget about why you do this. And ultimately, why do all of us do this? It's to support our family. And it's because we love what we do, and we're passionate about what we do, and we're passionate about helping other people achieve their goals. And if you think about the auto business, I don't think there's any business out there that's more exciting than the auto business. We've constantly got new products coming out, and people are buying cars. They're at the height of excitement in their life. It's a big decision that they make. It's a fun decision that they make, and we're helping them achieve their goals. And it's the same thing, whether it's in service, people come in and they have an issue, and we help solve that issue. And I have so much respect for our technicians, because what they do is so important of keeping our customers safe on the road. It's a really, really important job out there. And it's so exciting to see what they're able to do and how they make our customers happy. And a big piece of this thing is, you talk about too, is when you come to work and you like the people that you work with. The old saying goes that you don't have to like your boss. You just got to respect him. I call BS on that.
Yeah.
I think you got to love your boss, and he ought to love you. And that goes back to, I say there's 2 types of leaders in this world. The wrong type of leadership is a leader. He's really not a leader. He's a manager at this point, but I'm the king, and everybody else is going to be here to serve me. That doesn't work. As a leader, it's got to be servant leadership, where the leader is there to help his team out and do anything he can to help move his team forward and help develop their career. That's the mark of a really strong leader.
That's awesome. And that is so important when we talk about Zeigler University, the speaker series, and the other resources that Zeigler employees are given to help grow and develop over time. It's awesome. So a topic that'll make you a little uncomfortable. So Glassdoor ranked Zeigler Auto Group 6th for best companies for work-life balance. Last year, we were 14. The other component that Glassdoor ranks is CEOs. So they actually rank CEOs on a scale of 1 to 100. And I'm going to list some companies, and we're going to guess what their CEO ranking is, and then I'll share your ranking with you. So big companies, and in fact, let's start in automotive. Sonic, when you think of the CEO of Sonic, I'm going to give you the number so you don't have to guess. Okay. 61% is the approval rating for the Sonic CEO. Group 1, 85. So it's getting better. Tesla, Elon Musk, now president and CEO of Twitter as of a week ago, 74%. And Asbury, 81. Guess what your Glassdoor ranking is this year, which is up from prior?
That I don't know, Sam.
99%. Unprecedented. And in fact, if you go to large public companies, GM's Mary Barra, 87%. Adobe is the one that becomes closest at 96. Apple, Tim Cook, 90. Amazon, 80. A lot of the conversation that we've had right now about work-life balance, you've kind of put back to the employees who've helped to create this great culture. Maxwell's Law of the Lid says an organization doesn't go higher than the chief executive. What do you say about that 99% approval rate?
I don't look at that as a individual approval. I look at that as a company approval. Yeah. And I think it goes back to our culture. And I think it goes back to trying to do everything we can to make people happy and make each other happy. And that's where I think, if you like coming to work and it's fun and it's exciting and you can have a lot of fun at work, you can work hard and still have fun and do great things with your coworkers. And if we continue to bring the right people in and continue to grow them and develop them, and that allows us to grow the organization. And that's, my motivation for continuing to grow the organization is to create opportunities for people that work for us. I had those opportunities growing up, and I wanted everybody else to be able to have the same opportunities that I have. So I really look at that as kind of an organization-wide recognition, not an individual recognition.
That's excellent. There's 2 groups that are watching this right now. Zeigler Auto Group employees, and then those that are listening or watching the podcast. What would you say to a Zeigler employee that maybe hasn't engaged fully with Zeigler University, that wants to develop and become better, maybe wants to engage a little bit better with Speaker Series? How can I do that? And then to those outside of the Zeigler Auto Group that are saying, hey, That's kind of a cool culture. I want to be part of what exciting things that are going on in the Zeigler Auto Group. What would you say to those two groups?
Internally to our employees, get on the Zeigler University website. It's been completely revamped. It's available to everybody in the organization now.
In fact, it's not even officially released. So this is a little bit of an early announcement.
Yeah, so you can get on before it's officially released, but you can start seeing what we're doing. And it's going to be 100% complete here in the next 30 days or so. But there's a lot of information on there. Yeah. It'll walk through everything that is available to you. And there's a way to be able to go on there and start signing up. But also, you want to have conversations with your leader and let them know what you want to accomplish. And the mark of a great leader is to help you accomplish those goals. Yeah. Now, there's certain things that you're going to have to do as an individual. You're going to have to be able to be successful at certain things to be able to do that. But everything is here to be able to grow with us as a organization.
And then what do you say to those outside of Zeigler that may want to join this effort?
Hey, reach out to us. Reach out to Mike Van Ryn and our recruiting team. You can go to Zeigler.com. You can fill out a form there that will allow you to connect with us.
Reach out to any one of us for that.
Absolutely. Really, the reality is everybody in the organization is somewhat of a recruiter. It's all you got to do is you got to get in the organization. Once you get in the organization, then we can help develop you to move up.
So Aaron Zeigler, on this recognition with Glassdoor, number 6 of the best companies or top companies for work-life balance. And then obviously you hand that back to the group at a 99% approval rating of CEOs as you compare this to others. Congratulations on both those efforts. And thank you for joining us here.
Thanks, Sam. And Team Zeigler, greatly appreciate everything you guys do for us and do for our customers on a daily basis. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks to Aaron Zeigler for contributing to the podcast, and congratulations to the entire Zeigler Auto Group teams everywhere across Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana for committing to culture, execution, and delivering on the Zeigler Auto Group mission statement of our family providing your family the ultimate automotive experience, which execution has brought national recognition on our entire team. Share this story with your family and friends. This is a moment in Zeigler history while we're celebrating and enjoying. Until next week, how are you driving vision today?